Welcome to episode 8 of the Tertius Times. It's first of 3 stories for today. Download Falun Gong books, get 5 years in jail from Bitter Winter on August 25th. Almost 20 years ago, associates of a 57-year-old woman, Cao Gang, were arrested for possession of Falun Gong materials. 10 years later, the woman herself was arrested for the same thing. She was recently rearrested, and as of August 25th, according to this article, an appeal of her 5-year jail sentence was denied, affirming that possession of those materials is indeed a criminal offense in China. As the article puts it, quote, "The hunt for what remains of Falun Gong in China has started again, as the CCP, or the Chinese Communist Party, is mightily upset by the success of Falun Gong 9 True Words meditation during the COVID-19 pandemic," quote unquote. Falun Gong is a, quote, "large Chinese new religious movement established in 1992, unquote, whose teaching is, quote, rooted in the 3 teachings, or the traditional matrix of Chinese spirituality and religion, including Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism," quote, "with some New Age variations and overtones. For 7 years, it was tolerated and even praised by the CCP as part of a legitimate revival of Chinese health practices," unquote. But, quote, "it created concern in the authorities because of its rapid growth. It was banned in 1999 and severely persecuted. Pray for the people of China. Pray particularly for those who practice Falun Gong. Pray also for the leaders of China that they would ease restrictions against movements they deem as a threat. For as we have seen so often repeated throughout history, persecuted may one day rise up and overthrow those in power today." This brief article, "Man Wearing Kippah Beaten by a Group of 10 Attackers in Cologne, Germany," from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency of August 23rd, reports that an 18-year-old man suffered a broken nose and cheekbone. 2 of his attackers were near the same age. They were arrested and released. Quote, "Germany's commissioner on anti-Semitism," unquote, according to the article, quote, "was appalled by this horrific and cowardly attack. He praised the police for their quick action. In the past, few perpetrators of hate crimes have been caught," unquote. Cologne's mayor encouraged everyone, quote, "to live without fear, no matter what religion you belong to, what worldview you have, and how you live and love," unquote. A Frankfurt rabbi suggested one remedy to avert such attacks would be that, quote, "educational institutions or other public institutions must be taught more about Jewish life," unquote. The article concludes with the note that, quote, "the victim left the hospital on Saturday," unquote, which would have been August 28th. Pray for Jews around the world, especially those in Germany and other places where anti-Semitism is growing. Pray for those who are anti-Semites, that they may see the light that we are all made in the image of God and embrace instead of attack those who they view with disdain. Pray that their disdain would be turned into acceptance. This final article for today, Pope Francis saddened by a brutal attack which killed Catholic nuns in South Sudan, from the Catholic Telegraph, August 18th, reports that, quote, "a road ambush along a highway in South Sudan, August 16th, resulted in the deaths of 5 people, including Catholic nuns, Sister Mary Daniel Aboud and Sister Regina Roba," unquote. From a parish 120 miles south, they were on their way to Juba, South Sudan's capital, when they were attacked. The sisters were returning from the 100th anniversary of the Assumption of Our Lady Parish. The Pope, quote, "offers heartfelt condolences to the families and religious community of the sisters who died from this senseless act of violence. 9 nuns in all were in the convoy of the 3 vehicles." A fairly new independent country of South Sudan is in the midst of ongoing internationally observed peace talks between at least 3 warring factions within the country. A meeting in Rome is scheduled soon, which has increased hopes of a final peace agreement. Pray for the people of South Sudan. Pray that peace blankets the country and those factions involved in the negotiations may see their roles as healers instead of proponents of death and destruction. All right, welcome back. We're continuing our conversation with Aryan and Ahmad. We're going to have a little different theme today. We're going to talk about some famous sites, a little bit of history of Afghanistan, And I believe it's Ahmad, correct, who's going to
Yeah,
this particular building here. So what is this and what's the significance of it?
it's called Balai Hasar. It's a high fort, an ancient fortress located in south of the old Kabul city, Afghanistan. The estimate date of the construction is around the 5th century AD. Bala Hasar sits on the south modern city center to Tal, and it's a place for the nobles. Population about 5,000 live within the fortress walls. Apart from the ruler's household, there were other nobles court, such as officials, servants, grooms, guard, and many more. So yeah, this is one of the historical place, the historical beauty of Afghanistan, which still remains the same.
And the historical significance is this, correct?
Yeah,
The
this is
Durrani, how do you
yeah, this
pronounce
is
it?
Durranian. Farsi,
Okay,
yeah, it's
okay,
different. It's a Farsi, it's different. So Durranian Empire. It was an empire that created in Afghanistan basically. And the ruler was Ahmad Shah Baba, a very big figure in the history of Afghanistan. And he created this empire and he conquered Iran, Uzbekistan tribes, Uzbekistan, Turkestan, and like around all around it. He conquered it, and he also conquered India. He took over Kashmir and Punjab, and I mean Pakistan wasn't like there, but like he Pakistan took over Pakistan too. So he
right,
was a very great ruler. He helped build the city. He helped build the civilization and helped the people with his work and took control of and become like a big figure in the history because of his work. He's also a very good king, which is amazing because I mean, he should because he took over like most of the Asia. I'm
right.
right.
Yeah, that's a pretty big chunk of land. Now let's look at this one.
Oh,
And
so
a
this
really
is
important one.
this is the castle of Alexander the Great, which is in Afghanistan, Herat. I'm not sure how old he is, like the castle. This is in Herat in Afghanistan.
Right.
It's a very historical figure. A lot of people visit it.
Yeah. This, if I remember my history right, this was sometime during the 4th century BC. So this has been around for
2,000 years
quite,
ago, but the
well,
legendary.
yeah, almost 2,400 years ago.
Yeah, Alexander the Great, during his push to India, he built it and he tried to conquer the people, but he couldn't conquer the people of Afghanistan. Because I mean, he took over like control of it, but he couldn't conquer the people
Right.
because like I said, our people, we have way too much pride, so no one can conquer it.
Well, it's a graveyard of empires, they
Yeah,
say.
that is true. The graveyard of empires, no one can conquer us. We have so much pride, but that pride also leads to our own demise.
That was very informative, very interesting. And I think a lot of people will appreciate hearing about it and seeing some of the sites. So we'll see you next time. Bye.